Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're taking a look at Lattafa Pride's Wajood. Alright, so Wajood is from the House of Lattafa. It is from their Pride line series. It's an eau de parfum concentration, and you can pick this sucker up for $28 at various discounters. Links will be down in the description if you decide you want to check this one out. Also have coupon codes. Save yourself $5 off your first purchase at both Fragrance Buy and Perfumes Online, if you decide you want to shop with them. Presentation on this with the Lattafa Pride line series, very, very nice. It has this nice thick cardboard with this almost kind of leathery style of kind of wrap around it with this radiating pattern that goes off, does have a texture to it. So very nice style of box that does open up like a book jacket, revealing our fragrance bottle on the inside. So again, for 28 bucks, presentation on this, very, very nice. Bottle on this has that same sort of radiating pattern with the circular emblem on the front. Very thick, heavy bottle, has a nice matte black finish to it. Decently heavy cap, kind of a mix of some metal and some plastic on there. And the atomizer on this bad boy, quite nice. Good distribution on this, will get the job done. So overall, again, $28, well done Lattafa. So if you were wondering what Lattafa Pride Wajood smells like, you have come to the right place. But first, a fun fact. From my linguistic translation experts and resources, I have come across the translation of Wajood into English, meaning something along the lines of the essence of or existence, used more in kind of like a poetic context. So there you go. There's your little fun fact from Post Cologne. Linguistic translations, fragrance reviews, handsome face, like and subscribe. Some of the notes listed in Lattafa Pride's Wajood are C notes, pink pepper, patchouli, vetiver, amber, and sandalwood. So let me tell you what I get from this fragrance. In the opening, you get those aquatic notes right out the gate and that pink pepper. A fresh style of C note that comes through, but it has this green vegetal vibe going on to it. So think kind of a seaweedy, salty style of aquatic note that comes through, mixing with that pink pepper. The pink pepper adds this fresh spiciness to it, but it also adds this touch of sweet that comes through. So it balances things out a little bit, kind of contrasts with that salty green nature to it. Really nice combination of notes in the top. In the mid, you get some vetiver that comes through pretty quickly. It adds this aromatic woody touch to it, bit of a grassy, dry sort of woods coming through. The patchouli in here adds a little bit more earthiness to it, but it almost kind of accentuates that green vegetal vibe that's coming from those aquatic notes. And in the base, you get some amber and some sandalwood. The amber adds a little touch more sweetness to it. Not a sweet style of fragrance, just enough sweetness to kind of balance things out so it's not overly salty, overly green, or overly aquatic. Just a nice little kiss of sweetness that comes through, but it also adds a little bit more dryness to it. And that sandalwood adds a little bit more richness to it, an aromatic style of woody accord that comes through. Absolutely beautiful. Very aromatic, woody style of aquatic fragrance. So it is a little bit unique. It is a little bit different with those green notes that come through. Could be a little challenging for some people, but if you're looking for a unique style of aquatic fragrance, this is definitely going to get you there. Very masculine, very bold, and like I said, has that greenness to it, a real vegetal vibe coming from those C notes and that patchouli that mixes in there. Best way I could probably describe this, it's like standing on a dock, an old wooden dock, as the ocean tide has gone out, algae and seaweed is kind of sitting on the beach, baking in the sun. That wood is baking, getting really dry and grassy sort of feel to it. And then a nice cool sea breeze coming off. That's the kind of vibe I get from this one when I wear this one. Has a little bit of warmth to it, but it also has that fresh aquaticness to it. Interesting contrast, very unique, very complex, and I absolutely love it. So when it comes to the performance of Lattafa Pride's Wajood, I get pretty good performance off of this one for one of those aquatic style of fragrances. I get about 6 to 8 hours of longevity off my skin. If I get some on my clothing, I definitely push it off way longer than that. Almost into the next day, I can still smell this when I get it on my clothing. And it does project fairly good for the first 2 hours. It's the aromatic woodiness to this, that little bit of spice that comes through, and that salty sort of vibe that you get from this really helps project this out quite well, especially when your body heats up or you're in warmer temperatures. This does radiate off fairly good. So like I said, longevity and projection on this, pretty good for an aquatic style fragrance. Now when it comes to the where and when, I think Lattafa Pride's Wajood would be most appropriate. Definitely think this is a casual style of fragrance. You can wear this kicking around town, doing errands, going for lunch, hanging out on a patio on a warm spring, summer style of day. I don't think this is necessarily something I would wear on a date night. It has that green vegetable note that's in there. It's not necessarily a sexy style of fragrance, but it does have that boldness, that masculinity that you could dress this up and come across a little bit of a refined gentleman, a little bit of a sophistication, but overall, I think this is more of a casual beach kicking around style of fragrance. I do think it is fairly versatile in terms of seasons, however. I do think you can pull this off pretty much year round. It does have a little bit of warmth to it, so in the cooler months, the falls, a little bit into the winter, you can still pull this off. It'll still push. It has that warmth, that woodiness to it, that little bit of spice coming through, that it does hold up in the cooler weather. Spring and summer is where I think this one's going to shine most. It just has that aquatic vibe, so it fits that sort of profile. But I do think in the really high heat, this might be a little bit too much. There's too much woodiness, too much spiciness that comes across. So if it's a really killer hot day, this might be a little bit too heavy of an aquatic fragrance for you to pull off. I mean, if you're a glutton for punishment, go for it. I'm gonna probably test it out and see how far I can push this. But again, I'd say like more of a mild summer day, a warmer springer afternoon style of fragrance. But overall, I think it is pretty versatile across all sorts of different seasons. And like I said, really good casual wear. So my overall thoughts on Lattafa Pride's Wajood is I really enjoy this aquatic fragrance. It is very unique, has this complexity to it, but I really like how the notes play together with this. A great balance of that salty, vegetal C note accord with that kind of breeziness that comes through, a little bit of that freshness, even though it's not your typical style of like aquatic freshness, and the aromatic woodiness that comes through. That's what really kind of caught me off guard. I was figuring this would be more of like a very much a beach standing in the water style of aquatic, but this is more standing on the shore, standing on that wooden dock. So the woody aromatics that come through, mixing with that C note sort of vibe, that green vegetal vibe, with just the right level of sweetness, just to kind of round things out, not get it to be an overly green, overly salty style of fragrance. And the dryness that comes through just adds a little bit more character to it. And I just really enjoy the scent profile. Like I said, not going to be for everybody. This might be a little bit too challenging, a little bit too green, salty, unique for some people. Not a dumb reach fragrance, but if you're looking to kind of step out a little bit, to try something a little bit more unique, I think for $28, this is a great pickup and a great way to kind of experience that style of aquatic fragrance. It's been compared to Tom Ford's Une Minerale as well as Megamar. There are overlaps in the note breakdown. There's probably similarities in terms of how this comes across. So for those of you wondering what this might be cloning, I think it's somewhere in that neighborhood. Like I said, for 28 bucks, performance on this is pretty good for an aquatic fragrance. I think it's very versatile across all seasons. And for me, this was a great pickup. Really happy I have this in my collection. Definitely gonna be wearing this throughout the summer. That's Lattafa Pride's Wajood. And I wanna hear from you guys. What are some of your favorite aquatic style fragrances? Comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love your different recommendations, hidden gems, taste and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you all next time.